Moving on to another big news coming in, it seems that Pakistan is having a big meltdown over India's diplomatic strike. It seems that Pakistan is completely rattled, and especially since the abeyance of Indus Water Treaty, it seems Pakistan considers it an act of war. Pakistan has warned that it will be suspending Shimla Agreement. Now, the Shimla Agreement was signed in 1972, and it established the line of control in Kashmir. That is the importance of the Shimla Agreement. So it seems like they are trying to retaliate. For more on this, let's go across to my colleague Shashank Mattu. Shashank, the Shimla Agreement is extremely important between the two countries, especially since it focuses on peaceful negotiation and also in clearly laying out what is the line of control and how it's going to be respected by the two countries. So what is going to be the impact of this statement that we are seeing from Pakistan right now?
Well, it's not exactly clear at this point in time what Pakistan means when it says it will suspend the Shimla Agreement. Of course, one of the key aspects of the Shimla Agreement is that the two countries, India and Pakistan, will agree to deal with the Kashmir issue bilaterally and not involve third countries. Of course, as you rightly said, it also involves the line of control. But Pakistan, for several years, has tried to internationalize the Kashmir issue, bring it in front of various global forums, try to get much more global intervention going on these issues. So, if not the letter, but certainly the spirit of the Shimla Agreement has been violated by Pakistan at several points in the past. So, it's not exactly clear what they mean when they say that the Shimla Agreement, therefore, will no longer be respected or will no longer be followed at this point in time. Pakistan, at this point, what we've seen is, in terms of what the National Security Committee has done, is it has issued a like-for-like retaliation against India. But of course, it can't seem like they have simply copy-pasted India's retaliations as well. They have to add something to the mix as well to satisfy their domestic constituency, which is why they have made this purely symbolic statement. What it means, as I said, concretely for diplomacy is not exactly clear, and I suspect the Pakistani side doesn't know exactly what it will contribute as well to their diplomacy, because, as I said, they haven't really respected the tenets of the agreement in the past as well.
Right. And also, let us you stay with us, Shashank. Please don't disconnect. We'll be coming back to you again. But the thing is that there will be a press briefing that the Ministry of External Affairs will be taking up, and we'll soon be going there and trying to find out what exactly is happening and what is India saying, because this will be an opportunity for India to give a message to Pakistan. Meanwhile, as we just told you, the big news that has come in right now is that India has stepped up its diplomatic strike against Pakistan. India has called foreign envoys of select countries to MEA to brief them regarding Pahalgam terror attack. And Prime Minister has also given a big global message on Pakistan terror as he spoke in English in Madhubani in Bihar today. India is trying to build global solidarity against Pakistan. So as we were telling you, it seems that India now is trying to garner support from the global community. India has decided that it's going to step up its diplomatic strike. Already, India has taken 5 key steps, diplomatic steps, against Pakistan. And Pakistan, of course, also seems to be retaliating by saying that they're going to cancel the Shimla Pact. But India is right now trying to garner the support of the global community, get their backing so that they can move forward with what they plan. India has decided to call the foreign envoys of select countries to MEA and to brief them regarding this terror attack. It is important for India to get the support of these countries, because if there is an action taken by India, then you need the global support. India, Pakistan, both member of UN. Any action taken by any country, you require support of other countries. Prime Minister has given a big global message on Pakistan terror. Let's go back to Shashank, who continues to be with us. Shashank, clearly India is using a multi-pronged approach here. Here we are using some diplomatic actions to bring Pakistan down to the knees. The other side, we are also bringing in other countries to our side, our, as we would say, our room, our gang. So what exactly is India's effort here?
Well, I think, the past experience of Indian diplomacy when it comes to the issue of Kashmir and terrorism with Pakistan is really informing India's strategy here. If you might recall that after the 26/11 attacks, for example, India faced a great deal of restraint when it came from the international community, because the instinct of the international community when it comes to any sort of India-Pakistan conflagration is to get in the middle and push both sides apart and say, okay, no more fighting. The experience, of course, now is informing India's position here. They're trying to get ahead of the curve and talk to foreign countries. You've seen the Prime Minister, of course, speak on the phone with a number of important world leaders, including the Prime Minister of Australia, including the President of the United States, to make sure that they are on board and understand the Indian position as well as what India is planning to do. Because, of course, some of India's moves, for example, like the abeyance of the Indus Water Treaty, will evoke some international concern. But the Indian Prime Minister and Indian diplomacy have to explain to the international community what India is trying to achieve, and to ensure that the world community understands what India is trying to get done here, to ensure, as you said, that the world backs India, understands where India is coming from, and understands the need to punish Pakistan for its policy of sponsoring cross-border terrorism. So you're absolutely right that Indian diplomacy has been working overtime over the last couple of days to make sure that the world understands what India is trying to do and understands India's perspective.
You also look at the kind of messages that poured in after the attack from the global community, the heads of states, the country heads. It was quite clear that terrorism is something that the global community is not going to put up with. So India can here safely be assured, with all these envoys coming in, that there will be a sympathy for us. Well, it seems I've lost my connection with Shashank, but we have Piyush Mishra, another colleague, joining us right now. Piyush, how important is this meeting of global envoys of different countries, that is this briefing that is happening at the Ministry of External Affairs?
Well, Anjali, it's a very important meeting because all envoys who are right now in the country have been called by Ministry of External Affairs, and certainly the Ministry of External Affairs is briefing them about India's position after the horrific terror attack which has taken place in Pahalgam, and this attack has taken place on innocent citizens. And remember that this meeting has also come in the wake of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's strong message to the world community that yes, we will take strongest possible actions. We will not let terrorism go unpunished. Prime Minister has also said that these terrorists will be tracked, hunted and then punished. Not only them, but also the handlers of these terrorists will also be taken to the task. So after that statement, we are now seeing that Ministry of External Affairs is now briefing all envoys. Remember, Anjali, that Prime Minister today, while he was speaking there in Bihar, he also spoke in English language because he wanted to send out a message to the global community, and it seems like the message is now being resonated by the MEA also, where MEA is now telling all the envoys about the developments. MEA is also briefing all the envoys about the development and the stand which the government has taken as far as dealing with terrorism is concerned.
Right. Piyush, but it is also a very delicate thing what India is attempting here right now. Pakistan has enjoyed a certain position because of its geolocation. It has enjoyed a certain relationship with certain superpowers as well of this world. So how difficult or easy would it be for India to right now garner support and get everyone on their side?
Well, it seems like Pakistan has been completely isolated by the world community. We know how America has isolated Pakistan. Other countries have also not taken much interest in Pakistan now. In fact, after the kind of tariff war which is also going on between China and America, it's unlikely that China is going to extend its hand towards the Pakistan, because China would certainly need a market, and India is a bigger market than any other Asian country. So China would not take risk. So looking at the current geopolitical situation, Pakistan is feeling isolated, though it is trying to come out with some sort of statement claiming that it is of the tit for tat policy. But it is also important to understand that China globally has been completely isolated, and that is why the advantage is also being taken by India, where it is briefing all envoys, telling the India's stance. And it is also bound to highlight that this time the civilians have been targeted, and India will certainly retaliate back, and Pakistan will be shown its position. All countries will be briefed about that, and the message is loud and clear from the topmost office of the country, from Prime Minister's office, that yes, we will teach lesson to Pakistan and will punish the perpetrators behind this horrific terrorist attack.
Right, Piyush, do stay on with us. Joining us now is Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor. Geeta, as I was just asking Piyush, how difficult a task is it for the country, India, to try and isolate Pakistan and get this global community on our side? Has the situation changed from the time when Pakistan used to enjoy a certain privilege to now?
Well, when it comes to Pakistan and terror attacks, India has been sharing details since the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Dossiers have been shared with various countries that are stakeholders in the region, including the West, that have were massively invested in Pakistan. Now we're looking at foreign envoys at the Ministry of External Affairs. They're select countries because all the 190 cannot be called in one go. But what we are given to understand is that the countries that are there right now include the United States of America, Japan, Indonesia, European Union, the Italian ambassador, Qatar, and many others. So these are countries that are already there, being briefed by the Ministry of External Affairs officials on the Pahalgam terror attack and the involvement of Pakistan. But the National Security Committee meeting in Pakistan also concluded important decisions in terms of reciprocity. They did announce the declaring Indian military attaches in Islamabad persona non grata. However, India had already announced it yesterday that while we are going to reduce their staff, we are also reducing our own. It did not require reciprocal decision by Pakistan at all, because these are decisions that have been taken. But two very important takeaways. One, Pakistan says that any situation or circumstance where water flow is stopped into Pakistan will be looked into and treated as an act of war. Right. Secondly, they've also said that all international agreements, including Shimla Agreement, a big one at that, but not limited to Shimla, right, will be kept in